Hello, I'm Georgie Coleridge Cole, SheerLuxe's founder and CEO, and welcome to the SheerLuxe podcast. We are talking about the original brand influencer collaboration. I am joined by the wonderful Marisa Hordern, the founder of Missoma Jewellery, and Lucy Williams, well, one of the most loved content creators in the UK. You sort of broke the internet when you launched that collection.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay.
How they continue to work together so well.
There's a real relationship behind the scenes. And, obviously Lucy's so involved in the designing as well. It's not just, sign something off at the end. There are emails, there are WhatsApp groups, there are...
there are a lot of meetings.
What's new? What's coming up? Their favourite pieces?
I'm still trying to get a toe ring over the line.
on your team.
Yeah, Georgie, we'll get you there. Don't you? Just you wait.
No, you will not.
No, I will. I will.
Don't miss it. It's a good one. Today, we are joined by two women who helped redefine jewellery and the influencer brand relationship. In 2007, Marisa Hordern launched Missoma from her kitchen table, turning a childhood passion for gemstones into a globally recognised brand. And in 2015, Lucy Williams became Missoma's very first collaborator, a partnership that has really set the standard for influencer brand collaborations. Together, they've not only shaped Missoma's stories, but many others for brands and content creators, not to mention the incredible jewellery they've given us as consumers to wear along the years. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. What a lovely intro.
Us, yeah.
This is really fun. We started off by saying, before we went live, someone said, can you give us this is for our behind the scenes episode that's being filmed today. Can you give us a bit of spiel about why you're here? And I said, well, we started our businesses at similar times,
Basically,
didn't we?
18 years ago as well. We're literally the same kind of age.
I know. And you had a very brief stint
Yeah.
in the early days of your career. You ditched us and went to Marie Claire, I think.
I did in style.
In style,
Which is
sorry.
no more.
In style.
I know. I was trying to remember what year I worked here. Was it 2010?
That's a long.
But isn't
Yeah.
that amazing when you think that in style and all those publications, and now it's it's SheerLuxe and it's the
Yeah.
big broadcasters. I mean, how the industry has changed over those 10 years.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? You two are still working together, and we were chatting over lunch, and you were saying, it's 10 years that we've been working with Lucy.
Wild.
And anyway, we were like, this is perfect. We need to talk about this story because you really were the first.
But I love that you
took
actually
the
got
world
that.
by storm. Like I remember it so vividly. Can we go back to the early days,
Yes.
though? Let's start with you, Marisa, and that kitchen table business that you started with your mother and your sister, I seem to remember.
Well, with my mum and my sister, mainly my mum. I mean, my sister would kind of come in and out and help out, and I still rely on them both so much for their aesthetic and their advice. And actually, it's really nice to have the different generations because we then speak to all different types of women. But yeah, it was beating around the kitchen table with my mum. It was a hobby. It was a passion project. And I'd always loved gemstones. We'd always gone down Portobello Road and different markets collecting things. We started out actually with vintage centre pieces that then we made into gemstone belts. They were so cool, but they were all one-off, so you couldn't really scale it. But I would go and take my rolls round to shops and literally sell them. But then we started doing...
Did your mother have any background in jewellery or fashion?
No, she's just so creative. I mean, she's the most creative person I know. She can set her hand to anything. So she does trompe-l'oeil, which is 18th century paneling, and she can do any type of painting. She does sculpture now. She would make her own clothes. She would make the curtains, the whole house.
Oh, she sounds
was painted
fabulous.
and done by her.
I have.
She
She
saved
is
my
pretty
father.
fab, yeah.
She saved my father a lot of money. She likes to remind him, and she's still pretty fabulous. Even now, she's
is.
the most stylish woman I know.
Yeah,
Really?
she's very chic.
Yeah.
Love that. Can you come and do a mother-daughter shoot?
I would love to. I mean, she's quite shy, but I think I could persuade her. She is just the most chic. She still
really
has
love
much
that.
cooler clothes than me.
I love that. And that generation... Sorry, we're getting off topic. But
Yeah, we're getting off on a tangent.
It's so special to find women in their 70s or 80s or whatever they are who have that kind of old school, natural glamour.
Yeah,
And they dress for
amazing.
themselves.
special,
They
isn't it?
never leave the house. not looking completely put together.
Oh, my mother. Yeah, I love my mother has her bath every night and get changed for supper. Just to have my stepfather.
Oh, love that.
I know, I've said that many times. It always amuses people. Kitchen table,
Okay, yeah, sorry.
your mother, your sister dipping in and out.
Yeah, so it started out like a cottage industry. And then I started going to jewellery students, and they were, people I would pay to help bead up the pieces. Then I went and found factories as we needed to scale. And I went to Jaipur, Bangkok, Hong Kong, all on my own, going to find all the different factories. We must have tested out about 20 before we settled on 2.
And that is really hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that is something not to be underestimated, that finding the right factories, suppliers is one of the hardest things to get right.
But also it was different in those days. Like, we didn't have Google Maps, right? Did we have smartphones then? Like back in I was even finding them sort of back in 2005 when it was, still a hobby, 2006 before we really started Missoma. Because at that point we were still just, trying things out. I had my corporate day job at Richemont.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I worked at Richemont.
What was your role there?
I didn't really understand it. It was corporate.
You're a bit distracted.
Yeah, it was corporate media strategy, but basically I didn't really understand what we actually did or what we actually added to the other brands. It was just very corporate and nothing actually. I don't know, it didn't move. I always wanted to be in an industry where things move fast. I like to, I like to get shit done.
Yeah.
It's still one of my mottos.
I know. I think we're the same. I was too impatient. I was at Coty and was told that there were going to be no promotions because they just acquired a business. I was like, right, I'm done. This is not moving quickly enough.
Yeah.
Got to take it into my own hands. And
Exactly.
I think we're probably quite similar like that. Were you then starting to think that I'm going to create a serious business here?
No, I think I still had no idea where it would go. I think it still was very organic. We were selling and we were sort of breaking even, but it was such a slog. And it was still in the old days when it was wholesale and it was mainly trade shows. And it was just one trade show after another. It was a lot of just traveling, a slog.
So you were wholesaling your products?
Yeah. We were starting to basically go to trade shows and wholesale. And I would do every single trade show myself, every single press desk visit myself, every single, tax return. Or it was even before we sort of had an online shop. I think the first online shop we launched, the first website was probably 2010, probably 2011, the transactional one. Still remember it cost $2,500. When you think now what they cost, they were all bespoke then.
Yes, I know. God, 4 lines of code just for a line break or something.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was so painful. Yeah.
I know. Do you remember entering every single thing yourself?
I do. Yeah, I do. I remember scanning code, looking for where there would be a gap or not a closed bracket or something, because then when you looked at it from the front end, there was an error.
Yeah, you just wanted to learn it yourself, so you didn't need to rely on a third-party agency to fix it for you. Again, it's just we've got to do it ourselves. It's scrappy. And I think those are the most important roots to kind of also keep hold of.
And Lucy came along in 2000 and...
We met in 2014. Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
How did you meet?
We just met through a mutual friend, didn't we? And kind of connected.
Natasha.
And she was like, you guys should go for a coffee. And this is kind of story of my life, I think, where we met. And I think you probably went into it thinking maybe this will be one necklace and one bracelet. And then...
Well, no, we weren't even thinking collaboration at that point. I was just thinking... you might wear us.
Yeah. Then we got chatting and you were like, maybe we should do something together. And then I was like, yeah, I've got this idea for a 20-piece collection. And it just kind of...
We just hit it off straight away. And there was just this natural synergy. And, I remember you describing yourself as a jewellery maven. You were like a jewellery kind of... Magpie, sorry. That was it.
Yeah.
And then we started sketching on a napkin in the cafe.
Can we just go back to 2014 you met?
Yes.
What stage was your career? Because you left SheerLuxe, you went to InStyle, you had Fashion Me Now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were one of, if you were one of the OG, obviously Monica was around in those days.
I think it was just us two, or maybe one other.
You gave them a real run for their money. And by the way, we love that brand and have a great relationship with them, as we do for you. I remember Cassandra, the founder of Popcorn, saying, her heart sank when Tyrrell's launched Popcorn at the same time as her. And then she realised actually that was a category.
Yeah. No, we were
actually... And that you needed a category.
We were actually launched before them. So as in, there were only 3 of us in that era and the category didn't really exist. It actually took years and years and years to get people to understand what kind of demi-fine was, what that gold vermeil was, what that kind of price point, quality, etc. was. So there was about 7 years in the wilderness just kind of barely making it, work.
But you and they and maybe one other was sort of, you had the market for this demi-fine jewellery that was fashion-led, but not too edgy and commercial and anyway.
And she was creating it all as well as you went. You know, it was all new. You were one of the first doing what you do.
And you were doing it I was describing a shoot we just done for De Savary, and I was like, this is hot, cool, contemporary, but commercial. And that commercial piece, I think, is so important. And it's something that's always been really important at SheerLuxe, is being commercial. I think you always were as well with your, you know,
to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. So I feel like my whole career has been a bit of a happy accident, because when I left university, when I left SheerLuxe, when I left In Style, this was like before Instagram. So no one was really doing it as a full-time job. It was all just sort of a bit like, ooh, is this going to be a thing? Is that going to be a thing? So it's just sort of been figuring it out as I go. But yeah.
And we did a podcast not that long ago. It was only for our EIR readers.
Yes.
So not everyone got to see it. But can you give us a sort of potted history of SheerLuxe, In Style, Fashion Me Now? You left In Style.
So I went to after In Style, I went into trend forecasting, a company called Stylus. I was there for about 3 years, but I was very much doing my blog on the side, sort of weekends, evenings. And it was kind of at that era where blogs were sort of Tumblr-esque, you know, you would be like, oh, I really like this collection, this is why. And then at the same time, I started going to Fashion Week with my job, and I think street style was just kind of starting as a thing. So, I mean, it was definitely not the beast that it is now. And so I kind of started thinking, oh, okay, well, I'll put those photos of what I wore at Fashion Week up on my blog. And then, honestly, there was no sort of great theory behind it. I think I was just constantly thinking, is this something that I would like, or do you know what I mean? Like, almost like, if I'm comfortable with it, if I like it, then cool. And it just sort of happened like that.
I mean, what you designed, what SheerLuxe is, what you put out there is all about going with your gut and what you would want, and that's the commercial piece.
And I think, and making mistakes along the way. There were definitely times that I did things that I look back on now and I'm like, that's so not me. Why did I do that? Or getting sucked into things.
Lucy, it's a journey.
Yeah, you just got to figure it out. No, but I feel like you got to do those things to then be able to listen to your gut for the next time.
But I also think that
exactly.
the organic way that, like, you know, your career evolved, you know, Missoma evolved, you know, even SheerLuxe, like, there then became a plan, then there became a bigger team, etc. But it started in the weeds, scrappy, and making all those mistakes, learning from them. But it's that perseverance, that just complete determination to not give up. I mean, I remember at one time thinking, oh my God, am I ever going to make this work? Is this ever going to become something? But I think in order to appreciate the good times, you have to have gone through those hard times. And it's all about that roller coaster. And there's so many ups and downs. Even now, it's so hard with like the gold price, tariffs, etc. But you know how to get through them because you've been through so many of those, you know, difficult times and challenges.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, when will I have just like a straight run without any shit to deal with, you know, be it a lockdown or a financial crash? And I was like, I've realised that this is just life, and it will continue. You met in 2014.
Yeah.
What stage was Missoma at?
We were probably stocked in lots of department stores.
You were just going to B2C, weren't you, as well?
We just set up our online shop maybe a year and a half before. I mean, I remember at the point where it was like 2 orders a day, 3 orders a day. We probably had 10 people in the team at that point. We did have quite a big wholesale business. So it was when we'd made that shift from wholesale to D2C. It's very difficult when you wholesale jewellery. It doesn't get shown the way you want it to be seen. So we wanted to go direct to our customers. How will we find them? And that's when social media was still so early days, you know, with Instagram. But we wanted to sell a look and a lifestyle, not a product. And I think most brands or jewellery brands in those days were still very much selling it as a product. And it just felt so Jewellery 101. It felt so old-fashioned. And so when I looked at someone like Lucy and her aesthetic, it was exactly how we wanted the jewellery to be worn, you know, in that really effortless, everyday, you know, dress it up, dress it down, but jewellery that becomes part of you your everyday, that you never take off. And so it became about showcasing it on real people and how they would style it. So yeah, I think it was a big shift from wholesale to D2C at that point.
Who were your first accounts, wholesale accounts?
So we had like Harvey Nichols, we had Selfridges, we had Harrods, we had Fortnum & Mason. I mean, I'm trying to think who else. We had some international ones as well, probably like Lane Crawford, Hong Kong. We did have a lot. I also, on the side, was making money by designing for big kind of department stores. Do you remember?
I do
White
remember.
label.
Yeah.
I even used to do a bit of like Shop NBC and QVC, not in the UK, but I had to make ends meet. I had to make money. While we were in that stage of like, I call the 7 years in the wilderness, you've got to do what you've got to do. You've got to like help bringing the money that's going to pay for the business.
You were on QVC then?
Not UK. I think we did QVC Germany. I did Shop NBC US. That was in Minneapolis. I did a lot of that.
I'm not surprised, Marisa. I
know.
I imagine it was just
great
roll
at
off the
that.
tongue.
I'm a talker.
So 2014, Tash comes along and says, right, have coffee with Marisa. Off you go. You have coffee. No massive agenda other than you admire her style. You know the brand, I presume.
Yeah. I suppose I wanted her to wear it if she loved it and wore it on her every day. As I say, we weren't in a position to pay anyone at that stage. It was still that kind of relationship building. So, you're hoping that they're going to love, the product. But then we hit it off and we were like, oh my God, we should do something together. And no one had done that before. No one had actually fused. Influencers was such a new category, I suppose, just like our category was within jewellery. And it was just this natural, exciting idea.
Yeah.
So how did the conversation go?
Probably like...
We can do 5 pieces.
You saying, Lady, what are you thinking for this design collaboration? And I was like, well, here's my idea for 14 pieces.
and it's continued that way for 10 years, by the way.
So,
it's always me going, we're going to do
It's
5.
always me being more.
But now I blame it on merch. I just go, merch say we can only have X number of SKUs.
But it's good. It's kind of, I'm never short of ideas. I find it quite hard to limit myself sometimes. But
And even now, you're never short of ideas.
What's been great with us in terms of doing the collaboration, why it's lasted as long as it has, is probably because we've never done we've never said, okay, well, we have to do this amount, many collections, or we have to do 1 a year, 2 a year. Like, I'm in awe of people who have that level of creativity spilling over. I think for me, especially with jewellery, for me, it's like I'm kind of, like, I always love seeing new pieces, but actually, like, when I think of something, do you know what? I'm really craving wearing something a bit more like this, or I'm really feeling like this is going to be the thing that I want to wear.
She gives me a call.
I say to Marisa, like, I'm kind of thinking about maybe, what do you think? How do you feel about this? Or I really want to do, and it kind of goes like that. So I think, I don't know. That's how I work. That I feel like lots of people who are much more creative than me are able to come up with 6 collections a year. But I think
pieces that are missing that you really want.
Yeah, I've always come at it from a pretty personal place of being like, I really want this selfishly. I think other people hopefully would like it as well.
Well, I think this is a really good point to ask you what you're wearing, because we always get asked. We're going to get it in the comments. So let's do it. Marisa, you look amazing, by the way. I've known you for a long time now. I've never seen you look so hot as you do. Motherhood suits you, clearly.
I have just dyed my hair, had my nails done, and had my lashes done. Shoes are Totem. The most comfortable shoes. I've had them for a year and a half. Trousers are like these really lovely corduroys by Nili Lotan. I love her trousers. T-shirt's just like a COS t-shirt, which I actually got makeup on earlier.
They're so good, those t-shirts.
Jacket is, a vintage find. I suppose it's from the 80s. In Found and Vision, which is top of Portobello Road, just by the Goulburn Road, crossroad, which is where I kind of basically live near there and hang out near there, and it's my fave vintage place.
I'm feeling like there
there
needs to be a bit of SheerLuxe social content with Marisa around Portobello showing us.
Yeah. I have my crystal dealer.
I can skip that bit.
John.
Yeah, I can skip that bit. But yeah.
I feel like that's not really your vibe.
No.
What, the gemstones?
The crystals?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
No, I'm
you're
fine.
not a crystal person?
No. I've got one that someone gave me.
I'm going to give you one.
into horoscopes?
And I'm going to...
Are you into horoscopes?
No, I'm not a horoscope person, but I've been collecting gemstones since I was 5 years old.
Lovely.
But
What do you do with them?
Lovely
So I
hobby.
used to have glass shelves all around my room when I was little. My dad just kept on putting up more and more shelves as the kind of crystal collection grew. And one time I was away at uni and I remember my uncle came and stayed, and he's a Buddhist, right? So he kind of is also very in tune with these things. And the next day he went down and my mum was like, how did you sleep? And he was like, terrible. She's like, was the bed too hard? Was it too hot? What was wrong? He's like, far too much energy in that room. Because people used to always say, where do you get your energy from? And the joke at school was the crystals.
Well,
I mean, I appreciate a good crystal as much as the next person, but
what do you mean you appreciate a good crystal?
They look nice. If they, if someone's like, here's a bracelet, it's going to give you energy, I'm like, I'll wear it. I'm more of a, if I can't sleep, I'm going to...
Take a melatonin.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I
probably more
power of
my vibe.
intention. Like, I think it can be psychosomatic.
I'm with you on that, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the jewellery.
Okay, jewellery, sorry.
Outfit's great.
All right, so new mixed metal T-var necklace that is basically just an everyday piece mixed with my tennis necklace that I never take off and I just love layering with things.
Is that your own?
Yes. Well, no, it's a Missoma one, but
Right.
it is, yeah. I like mixing the metals, and it just feels very easy to wear. Little knot earrings.
Love those.
They've got the pavé on them. Am I wearing the gold ones with
Yeah.
the pavé? And then, the rest is just my normal bracelet stack. I've got tennis bracelets. I've got an organic bangle.
Are they all Missoma?
Everything is Missoma bar. Let me think. That piece, which is just a vintage one I bought for myself. Got a welding that I did with my mum, which I really enjoyed doing with her.
You do welding.
With all the little, cute charms. So
Yeah,
I
Lou
got...
and I have a little welding with a little diamond on.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I've got the little
sweet.
diamond one, but then we got the little evil eye, we got the, burst, we have the little mushroom, we got little chilies, kind of fun ones.
Gorgeous. Loving the combination. Lucy, your turn.
I'm wearing an and daughter little knit t-shirt, Massimo Dutti trousers,
These are really cool. Can
Jill
you lift,
Sanders
can
shoes.
you lift them up? Give
Yeah,
them a-
although just please don't look too closely at my toenails.
No,
and
they won't see those.
and my cuts.
I've
on
already
my
Oh, and I
noticed.
love the
I've already
ankle.
noticed.
Of course you have. Dreadful. I haven't done the post-summer kind of pedicure yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
My jewellery.
So this
from
is
Missoma.
part of the new collection.
Yeah, this is the new pieces. Yeah.
And what is the new collection called?
It's called Full Circle. It definitely means a lot, but it was also from a very simplistic thought process from the fact that because we were doing the entwine pieces for a long time, entwine hoops. We did the entwine cord, and then we just started exploring with this collection of shrinking the entwine down until we got a knot and kind of going into that eternity kind of full circle. Anyway, and also 10 years.
I love how you
and
describe
yeah,
it.
it just kind of worked.
Necklace is new. And can we have your earrings, please?
Yeah, so this is the first time in this collection that we've done some stones, some topaz.
Is this Missoma what you're wearing now?
Yeah, these are from the new collection. And the little mini,
baguettes.
and the one in this hole.
I love those.
And we do them in really long version as well. And then this is one of the new, we've done fine for the first time. It's funny because now I look back and the first few collections that were quite beachy, quite hippie, I don't know. And I still love those, but I feel like now, 10 years on, I've always been, as you know, I've never been I'm definitely more of a jeans and t-shirts person. I'm always verging on underdressed versus overdressed. That's how I just feel more comfortable. I would way rather be the only person at the party wearing jeans than the only person at the party wearing a dress. And I know not everyone's like that.
No, Lou's the same. I mean,
Yeah, that's how I've realised I do like wearing stones. I like a little bit of sparkle, but it just I'll wear this with more a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do, whereas then if I'm wearing something a bit more glam, if I ever wear stuff a bit more glam, I'd probably wear more just a gold hoop or a chunky chain or something.
I would 3 of those in a row would look amazing.
But I've got to show you the long one because I think long earrings now are so, much more fun to wear in that movement.
Or
There's
you
this
can do a long
amazing
and
long
then
one
a
and
short.
short. You do long and then 2 shorts. And also down there's that bracelet, right? And that bracelet,
The tennis
the
one.
baguette with the solitaire. So it's basically all baguette and then solitaires. And we do it as a tennis bracelet, but then we also do it as a tennis necklace.
That's really nice.
And it is just so
they're
beautiful,
fun.
that kind of more geometric.
I have a thing
nice.
about the number 8, and so we have a lot of octagons. We had an octagon coin. Yeah, this is my woo woo moment. I just like the number 8. It's like a lucky number, and I like an octagon. And so we did the octagon coin, and they are slightly octagon shaped. Aren't
They
they?
are slightly octagon shape. I see
Yeah.
that. Do you always agree? Do you ever disagree?
No, we definitely disagree. But I think we
compromise.
appreciate that each other has different strengths.
Yes.
So there are things that I think it's like any 10-year relationship, isn't
yeah.
it? There's always going to be the highs and the lows.
Well, I think our relationship, has outlived, our collaborations outlived some of our relationships.
yeah, that's true.
But I think it is kind of like a marriage. Like when you do a collaboration, when it's a real collaboration and it's authentic and it's based on a relationship and a friendship, there are highs and lows, but we respect each other and each other's opinions and, as you said, each other's strengths. I know that Lucy knows exactly what is actually going to be, I don't know,
I think
cool or different or wearable. And then she'll kind of maybe listen to me and the team on whether we can make it work price point wise, whether we can make it work in terms of the gold weight, or whether we can find, those stones.
Yeah, look,
And there are some things-
they're a good product,
Yeah.
and then and they're good businesses, and then it was the same thing, and I guess that's how it works, isn't it?
And there are
between
some
you?
things that I probably have to kind of push on
Yeah,
a bit
for sure.
in terms of product. Like I'm still trying to get a toe ring over the line.
I'm on your team.
Yeah,
My
20% of the pieces will be the
Not my
tone
team.
setting, but
Georgie, we'll get you there. Don't you just you wait.
No, you will not.
No, I will. I will.
but we do
Well, if
give them
anyone
eventually.
could, it would be you.
No,
I
I
just
don't.
set you the challenge, Lucy.
Okay, deal. Just want to get
But we
Marisa
do give
to
in
get on my
eventually
team now.
because Lucy is always right. She just knows what is, coming.
Can I get that in writing?
The thing is, it's
Well, yeah,
merch.
you can get it.
I can get it
It's on
recorded.
the internet
Yeah.
now. You've
No.
got it forever. But here you are, 10 years, and this is stunning. Can I just say that little tea bar with the little baguettes is
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a goodie.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous
Aw.
too. Can we talk about the first collection? Because you sort of broke the internet when you launched that collection.
Yeah, did we?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember it so well. It was beautifully shot. It was you, and you were, the girl everyone followed. It was Missoma that had a different point of view from Monica. A different
Yeah,
feel.
everyone's got their own brand DNA.
Absolutely, and you really had your own, and they had their own,
Yeah.
and you've continued
Absolutely.
to do that. But it was a big moment.
I don't think anyone had
and-
thought of coming together. No brand had come
It's
together.
funny though. It's so funny
Within-
talking about it now because I just didn't. I don't. Obviously, like
didn't
I was
think of it
really
that way.
excited to do it because I'd never sort of designed something before,
Yeah.
and what this has given me is like over the years, not from day one, but definitely over the years, it's given me more confidence in my own sort of trusting my gut and being able to create things and designing things in other categories. But I don't think at the time I kind of went into it thinking this is it or this is a big thing. It just sort of was like a
Yeah,
sort
we
of
had
like
no expectation.
we had no
But
expectation.
it was, right?
So
So what do you
we didn't-
remember
we
about
didn't have
when
any
you launched and how you launched and how quickly it sold and how...
You probably remember more about that than me because I just was more just like along for the ride.
So for us, it was more about the storytelling and the collaboration and the kind of relationship. We didn't know if it was going to sell, right? We thought it was an amazing collection, but we didn't know if it was going to sell. I think why it was so different was that no one had come together like that, but it really was so, as I say, scrappy. The launch was in my kitchen, actually on my kitchen table. I mean, with literally sand and shells and bits of wood. And we were carrying down a wooden table that nearly broke our backs down to
Yeah.
the little kind of like
that's
patio
still-
where we kind of stuffed 30 people in. And it was just so, I don't know.
Yeah, I like.
Scrappy.
It's funny when I look those pictures of
Yeah.
the sort of the logs cut in half with
Yeah.
sea urchins and sand
Yeah.
with the jewelry displayed on it. I mean, they slightly kill me.
It,
But
it does. It kills me.
but you know,
we had an
all part of the
easel
process.
with a poster. That was it. I mean, when you think it was so before times of like how we do branding now.
But it flew
It did because
out
it was
the door,
yeah.
right? Look, this is the point.
The designs were amazing. The styling, it was so Lucy. It was, her followers, they want to, get that style. They want to know how to style it. And yeah, it was just something really different at the time. Now, there are a dime a dozen, obviously, but I still think you can tell when something's really authentic, when there's a real relationship behind the scenes. And, obviously Lucy's so involved in the designing as well. It's not just, sign something off at the end. There are emails, there are WhatsApp groups, there are...
there are a lot of meetings.
A lot of meetings. And it takes a year to make a collection. Like, we literally take a year from, first sketch to when we launch.
How many collections have you
More.
done
This
in
one's
10
been almost 2.
Yeah, but I think,
Yeah.
that's because we weren't in a rush. We kind of
No.
like to take our time and do things, when the time's right. How many collections?
We've done 1, 2, 3,
Born,
4.
Roman art,
This is kind of like
1987.
6th.
Lucy and Silver, mixed metals.
Yeah, but some of them I feel
Yeah.
like feel like
The
there's
capsules,
yeah,
extensions,
there's little bits in between. I'd say there's
Yeah.
probably been 5
5 main ones.
main ones.
The coins.
Oh, the coins.
Yeah.
Which collection was that?
Roman collection.
Roman collection.
That went wild, right?
Well, you came back from Rome. It was all inspired by your trip to Rome.
I did my 30th in Rome and sort of wanted to start thinking about medallions and sort of I don't know, and it just sort of
God, that was good.
yeah.
My daughter's nabbed it.
I mean, it's still...
love
but,
that.
But talk about things...
Can't get it back off her. I was like, you can borrow it, but I will have it back.
But talk about things standing the test of time. So that is still one of our best sellers.
No, I'm not surprised.
And
It was a great
Yeah.
collection.
It's like 8 years or something. It was 2017, I remember. And it's still such a great seller. And I mean, there are so many stories I hear. Like one of our customers said that she and all her friends, like I think 4 or 5 of her friends all have the Roman arc, and they all wear it on the same day if one of them has, let's say, an interview or is going to find out about a promotion or, I don't know, going on a date or something. And it's their way of saying we're all thinking about each other. We're all like in it together.
Cute.
And it's kind of like your armor.
Very sweet.
Yeah, I thought that was so sweet. I love hearing those kind of stories from
right.
customers, why they wear their jewelry, because it's so emotional.
You definitely spearheaded collaborations with brands or had a huge part to play in brands collaborating with influencers, because it then, and I won't sit here and name them all, but, you know, find me a successful influencer and a jewelry brand or a fashion brand or whatever that hasn't collaborated. They often run their course, and that doesn't mean they weren't great. Why are you still able to be doing this successfully 10 years later? Obviously, you get on, but is it that it's so lucrative? Is it that you love each other and the brands, and it's what's the sort of magic formula? And can we talk about the business side of it as well?
Yeah,
But also what is the magic formula? Because a lot of them run their course, don't they?
I think one of the main things is that we never set a goal for doing it for a certain amount of time, and we also never set an end date. So it's always just been quite an open kind
Relationship.
Yeah, it has. It's always just been quite open in that sense. And like, I think that's helped, because I think if we'd started and you'd said, cool, sign on the dotted line for 5 years, I would have been a bit like, I don't know, you know. And if you told me then that you'd still be doing this in 10 years, but then actually, I also think it's nice to not have anything it means that actually when I have felt like, there's something else I'd quite like to do, I really want to try and make this, Marisa's always been open to being like, well, let's talk about it, let's discuss it. I think you've never put me in a box in terms of thinking like, well, you do this type of thing for us and nothing else. You've kind of, every collection we've done has been slightly different, you know, and you've kind of allowed me to kind of be like, well, now I'm in this phase of life, or now I'm feeling like I want to do a bit of this. And yeah. I
kind of feel like we've gone through those phases of life together as well. Like maybe slightly at separate times, but, you know, whether it's breakups, getting married, like we've been through so much in the last 10 years and, you know, just personal growth. But I do think it's all been about when it's the right time, when it feels right, when you felt that, you know, you've got something to, you know, say creatively. It has to be a real relationship. It has to be authentic. And, you know, whether that is since then, you know, years later, we did one with Harris Reed. You know, he's a great friend of mine. I love him to death. And it's the same thing. It's an authentic relationship.
Can we talk about the business side of a collaboration without wanting to sort of be too invasive? Can you talk a bit about how that works? Because I wonder if every brand is the same, how you navigate it. Do you do it on percentage of fees? Is it up front? How do you
We just do it as a percentage of commission.
Yeah. It's a royalty.
It's like a rev share.
And so many people have come to me over the years sort of saying, how do you do it, you know? And I think it's probably evolved a bit over the years, and it depends who you're doing it with. If you're going to do it with someone who, I don't know, has 20 million followers and is some big, you know, A-list star, there might be something
I think
up front. I think it depends if they have an agent. We actually did it, do you remember, but just before.
Yeah, we did it. But the thing is, I think it's so different, isn't it? Because when we started doing it, it's really great because we started doing it, and we did it from the very beginning. It was just done on a percentage.
I think there was like a 2-page piece of paper.
Yeah, it was. But I think now it would be, I'm sure there would be a lot more to sort of think about, and you would. So, but I think that was kind of, in a way, that's probably why it's lasted 10 years, because we went into it having no idea what it would become. And it was kind of, the contract that we went into was kind of open-ended for it to become that. Yeah. So,
I mean, we do have to update it because suddenly there are new channels, there are new things. So nowadays, it's so much more multidimensional. Like when we're launching this new, you know, collection, like now we've got bricks and mortar, or, you know, now we need to be thinking TikTok, or now we need to be thinking, I don't know, Substack, etc. There are so many more channels. And also there are so many more, even the paid space, the paid digital, you know, collaborative posts, this and that. So there's a lot more, I suppose, elements to put into a contract, but the fundamentals stay the same.
You are an international success story. You've built a brand that is still here and relevant and evolving and producing exciting collections 18 years on. That is not to be undervalued. Jewelry.
You know.
Yeah, and yes, but equally, jewelry is a hugely competitive market.
Yeah, it's very saturated now.
But you have a very, very strong brand that's still very loved and still has that cool edge, but commercial.
Yeah.
Feel that combination, which I think is so, so key. How have you navigated the last 18 years and kept your relevance? I mean, I'm sure Lucy has helped.
Definitely.
Yeah, how
Lucy brings like an effortless, aspirational, but still really, attainable. I think it's building community, and I think it's storytelling, and I think it's staying relevant with your brand marketing. Like, we're always trying to do new things and think out of the box. Like, we did the first jewelry advent calendar, right? Now there's obviously a million of them as well. We did, I don't know, last year for Valentine's, we did a bakery.
Awesome, by the way, when you did that, yeah.
It was really fun, and it still does really well, and we still love it. In fact, we've got a new one launching soon, and it's the best ever. But I think we're always trying to think outside the box. You do always need to keep things moving. That collaboration with Harris Reed, like, he was up and coming at that point, just out of Central St. Martin's. It's really finding new talent, but when it's a real relationship, then it's about, I don't know, the marketing team. We have our own in-house content studio. I'm like you, we like to keep everything in-house.
Yeah.
We're constantly creating new ideas and new concepts and having fun with it. Like the bakery at Valentine's, it was just a bit kind of tongue-in-cheek, turn our kind of puffy hearts into like a puffy kind of heart bun and make it into a whole bakery concept. We're doing so many community events, something you are amazing at. In fact, we look at you definitely at SheerLuxe as, the gold standard of how to build community. We did a sculpture class the other day because we did something with an amazing sculptor. We did obviously the Run Club, picnic and paddle. That was really fun. So it's really great to constantly be thinking about how to involve our customer, because it's why would they come back to us? It's design, it's quality, it's price point, but it's also feeling a part of something.
Yeah.
I just want to show how much work goes into not just the design and the production of each piece, but also like building a brand, the marketing concepts, the
allowing
ideas.
your consumers to connect with your business that way.
The
it gives
merch
the business heart,
team,
doesn't it?
the digital team, the
How big's
retail
your team, Marisa?
90 in head office. We also have our own warehouse. Control freak. So I like to control the whole distribution. The warehouse is amazing. It's like pale grey poured concrete. I love it. And that's about 18,000 square feet. We have a couple of people in India and Thailand where we manufacture. And then we have retail. So now we have kind of, I think it's 5 stores and 2 concessions. So then there's obviously the retail team as well.
And the stores are...
So we have 3 in London, Marylebone, Monmouth, our first, and Carnaby Street. And then we have a concession in Liberties. Selfridges, a new one that's fab on the 3rd floor. They've done this amazing new jewellery space with some really great jewellery brands. And then we have one in Leeds, Manchester concession, and there's a couple more coming. It's been exciting going into bricks and mortar, a dream, an absolute dream of mine.
That's a big team. How have you adapted to the role you're in today versus the role you were in?
I kind of call myself Chief Cheerleading Officer. I definitely feel that I'm the one that has to set the tone, that company culture, the passion, the excitement, and I love doing that. And, the company culture is something I'm so proud of, like everyone, and you can see it and feel it in this office as well when you come in. People always say it's palpable. I mean, you probably feel that when you come in, right?
Yeah, I love coming in.
Everyone is such good friends. In fact, one of our team is getting married in Greece this weekend, and about 6 or 8 are all off at the same time because they're all such good friends.
We've got a work hen tonight.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, you see?
There's a bridesmaid from the office.
Amazing.
Of the bride. Yeah, that's it. That gives me such
nice.
joy.
I know,
to
exactly.
see.
One got married the other day and she was wearing, she borrowed the Missoma diamond, tennis necklace, or actually another one I lent my my veil to. That's amazing. But I'm I'm the creative director, so it's design, production, so all product development, but also quality control and anything brand-wise. So anything that touches the customer. So whether it's content creation, any part of the marketing journey. But at the same time, I still sit on the board, so I kind of still know everything, and I'm a control freak. So yeah, I'm involved in everything. But it has been a real lesson to let go and let go of being in the weeds and knowing everything, as opposed to just being updated regularly. They did have to tell me to stop emailing when I was on mat leave. But it's just too confusing because you're on a different time zone, and by the time they answer, the decision's been made. But also my CEO, Catherine Morgan, is just amazing, and my sort of C-suite.
Sorry, so you're creative director and she's CEO. Got you.
Yeah, so I basically stood down just before I had my son a year and a half ago, or not even, nearly a year and a half ago. And she had already been in the business for 5 years or 4.5 years, and she'd sort of started as CFO, then become COO, and then CEO. So it was homegrown talent. Same with our CFO, who started as financial director, and I love that. And then also, she just is the most trustworthy person in the world, a complete straight arrow. She has a different set of skills to me. It's completely opposite set of skills. She's very well thought out, balanced, process driven.
Probably just what you need as
Just
the
what I
creative
need.
thinker that you are.
Absolutely. And it goes back to working with the right partners.
Yeah.
Because Lucy and I also think very differently, but kind of complement each other. And I always think that's the best advice you can give anyone, is to work with other people that really complement your skill set, because you're not going to be good at everything.
Lucy, what do you think jewellery-wise is to come? Have you got a hunch on what we're going to be wearing next?
Well, I do think the whole like solid, the sort of solid bar necklace, the talk, I don't know, I do, whether it's got like something hanging off it, or I don't know, something, I've always liked this look, so I don't know if this is particularly new, but that sort of collected on your travels, curated sort of feel to someone's jewellery, I just feel like that's just getting stronger and stronger, like people layering up like stones with things on threads and colours and
Crystals and...
well, I feel also that whole kind of day diamond kind of look, you know, that kind of more like you wearing stones and topazes and that kind of thing, but in a really casual way.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the bar, there's been a lot of over-consumerism for a long time. And
Yeah.
there's something really lovely about the simplicity of something simple with
And more just adding
a necklace that you're wearing now, and sort of minimal hair, and
But I think also
antidote to what we've seen so long.
It's a different way of doing minimalism, but I guess it's definitely not minimal in like aesthetic, but that kind of idea that you're just adding, you're not sort of just consuming more and more, you're just sort of like actually like that bracelet is going on top of that bracelet, and it's just like a kind of living in it kind of feel to the jewellery.
I totally agree. I think the jewellery is to live in, and it should become a part of you. So we don't do anything that is just for one season. And I love that people still rewear and rewear on repeat.
I would say one thing that even though ironically I used to work in trend forecasting, I try not to think too much about trends, only because I just feel like now at this point, I feel like it just sort of happens like osmosis, and you just have to slightly just
Be you and know you, and
yeah, I think so. There's so many things
the older you get,
like back in the day, I used to be like, okay, today I'm doing the cowgirl trend, whereas now I feel like we all do trends, but I just think if I think too much about it, I probably, in terms of designing, I probably get a bit freaked out and don't like anything.
I think with age, you just sort of, we're all a bit more calm, don't we? It's quite
know ourselves better.
It's I was at an event with Chrissy Rucker last night, and she was saying, that there's this real desire again for sort of moments of calm. And I think, if you get too hyped,
because they're the hardest to find.
Stuff,
yeah.
But equally, there's a balance, isn't there? What advice do you have for content creators who want to build a really authentic, long-term career? I mean, your career has been amazing. You are still as respected and loved and all of the above. I could go on. You've managed to maintain, you managed to be you managed not to over commercialize yourself, but clearly, make a good living.
I mean, like with anything, I think learning to listen to your intuition and your gut. I think saying no is one of the best things you can do, because I think it's really, whatever job you do, if you're your own boss, I think that it can be really tempting to be like, oh my God, but I don't know when the next thing's coming, so I should say yes to everything, every opportunity. And I still find that really difficult. But I think if you can say no to the things that just aren't quite, I always feel like it's that scratchy feeling where you're like, something's not quite feeling quite right. If you say no to that stuff, you're opening yourself up for more of the things you do want to do to come in. I think the whole authenticity thing is quite complicated, because I think that we are all choosing what we're putting out of ourselves online. So how authentic? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a real interesting conversation around that. But I feel like if your offline self is aligning with your online self, I think that's the best you can hope.
I think that's
what you do.
Absolutely brilliant way of putting it, and that to me is authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
If the two,
and I think that so many, if you get too wrapped up in the online and what you're posting, what you're not posting, what you're sharing, what you're not sharing, and you're not focusing enough on what's happening in offline, how you're interacting with people, who you're interacting with, what media you're consuming. I don't know. I just feel like we need to keep paying attention to that side of things.
I think if the ad could be organic content because you just believed in it, then
That's a good rule of thumb.
I that online and offline, I really like that. Marisa, what about you? 18 years as a female entrepreneur. It's not easy, but I'm sure you wouldn't change it.
There's so much advice to give. I definitely agree with go with your gut. I think always have that can-do attitude whenever faced with a problem. I wake up in the morning and there's always going to be a new problem, but it's not, oh God, what am I going to do about it? It's like, all right, how am I going to solve it? You have to be,
Marisa's the most positive person. I'm sure everyone's already picked up on that, but she is the most positive person. And that's...
What a great quality.
It is a great quality.
I say to my children,
thank
you want to be the person that walks into a room and
because I'm much more the nervous
around.
Nancy sometimes. I'm more like, does this look good? I'm not, what are we
that's why
doing?
we
Is that,
compliment each
and I
other.
think Marisa's like, we got it. It's all going to be fine.
But you do read
I did
what
literally
you
say to her last night, we've got this, don't worry, Lucy.
But you read what you say to an extent
Yeah.
in life, I think.
But
definitely.
I also surround myself with, doers. Like, I hate people who just talk and can't do. That is, for me,
I agree.
Yeah, that's
you've
just
got to be an
annoying.
actions person.
And I would say it's still keeping those grafter roots, right?
Yeah.
You've got to stay scrappy. And there was 1 or 2 years where I think, we probably, did lose that a little bit, and we've gone back to it. My God, have we gone back to it? And I never want to lose it, again, because I've realized the minute you lose that, you lose everything. So I think it's still about mentoring and focusing on your team, because you're only as good as your team. And so when I see that my team are getting stressed about something I used to get stressed about, I'm able to now say with those years of experience and hindsight, okay, calm down. How can I help you? How can we prioritize it? Don't forget, we're not saving lives, we're just decorating lives. And I just try and put it into perspective and take that pressure that they're putting on themselves. It's not even work induced. It's because they're so passionate about what they do and the brand. And I love seeing that. And I think, that's probably the best advice I can do. But it's basically perseverance and it's determination. And you know that, Georgie. It's highs and lows. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's a grind. There's a lot of sweat, blood and tears. And you just got to believe in yourself, back yourself and never give up. And sometimes there's 10 avenues and you've got to try a few different ones for one to really work and take off.
And I think you have to stay curious and open
Definitely.
to change.
Open to change is such
Change
a big
and
thing.
learning.
Totally.
And I think,
you have to adapt.
when you think you know it all,
100%.
there's probably going to be trouble ahead.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you. I'm totally in awe of what you've created, that it's endured this amount of time. I can't stress enough how impressive that is. This collection is stunning. These earrings are...
Oh, I'm so
They're
glad
so
you like
you.
them.
They're so you.
Yeah, they
stunning.
are.
Yeah.
As the ones you're wearing, as is the bar, as is it all. It's all online now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just launched, was it yesterday?
Yeah, it launched yesterday, yeah.
Well, here's to another 10 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yeah, see you in 20 years.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks for
Yeah.
all the support, because honestly, starting out at the same time, we've had such a great, journey and story together. And it's just nice for us all to come, back together.
Heaven.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That was really enjoyable.
Thank you. That's it for today. If you enjoyed that, then do please rate, review, leave a comment, tell your friends to listen to, and get on to Missoma and check out this collection for yourself. It's a goodie. We will be back soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.